Yes, yes. Here we go. Appreciate everybody joining us on Rated R for reviews. Let me make sure my audio is good here. Let me make sure my audio is good here. Click on this and click, click, click. Yeah, I think we're good. Yes, we're good. We're good to go. All right. Appreciate everybody joining us on Rated R for Reviews. Hit the like button. Okay. Subscribe, of course, if you're new. Obviously, we're talking about Naked and Afraid, last one standing today. This is supposed to be this is gonna be a good one. I again big fan of the show. Okay, just like a lot of people that do watch this show and they do like Naked and Afraid. Not gonna lie to you, I cannot wait for Naked and Afraid Apocalypse. That's gonna be, yeah. And you best believe. Okay, I am definitely going live to talk about that show as well. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, of course. That's number one. Number two is you can come on this show. Okay, you can come on anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Anybody that's a fan of Naked and Afraid, you can come on the show and you can talk some Naked and Afraid with me. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun, a lot of entertainment, man. So again, small channel right now, but we're growing. We're growing slowly, but it's I will get this channel flowing and it will be growing. Okay, you know what I mean. So appreciate everybody joining us again. We're gonna talk about this really quick. I don't know how long I'm gonna be live today, but we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, we're gonna get into it, man. We got to tap out right from the beginning. And a lot of people called this. A lot of people called this. Yeah. So, Max is now out. He is now out. I didn't even update. I didn't even update this picture. I will though. I will update the picture. And I'm gonna get an update for this because Max was I'm not gonna lie to you guys, he was just devastated after what happened with, obviously, with Laura and Trish and Kayla. But mainly with his partners, his partners were uh Laura and Kayla, and he was so and to be honest, I think it was more with Laura. I think he really liked Laura, and I think, like I said before, he looked up to Laura. Laura was one of the first ones on Last One Standing, and I mean, not Last One Standing, Naked and Afraid. And remember, Max was just he started off as an amateur. Remember, he started off as an amateur. Okay, and so him watching the show, he obviously was like, "Oh, Laura was the one of his main ones that he liked," and he always saw her. So I think he really looked up to her. And so now, uh, he now that Laura's pretty much gone. Yeah, I think it got to him. I think it got to him, man. And so we're gonna get into it. I appreciate everybody joining us. Obviously, we got Goat James in the building, aka Chris, aka and let me cook this right quick. You feel me? Appreciate you showing up, showing some love. We got Miss Tiffany Ned right there showing up, showing some love. I see you, Miss Tiffany Ned. Hey, appreciate you showing up, showing some love to the channel. Appreciate you. Again, I don't have to tell those two. They already know. They hit that like button. You know what I mean? So I know they already did it already. But again, if you're new right now, hit the like button. Okay, subscribe, of course, if you're new. So appreciate everybody joining us on Rated R for Reviews, obviously talking about Naked and Afraid, Last One Standing. So we're gonna keep it going. So as we seen in the previous episode with Max, okay, Max was at the tree and he had to decide whether to go left or right. Now he can join. He can join. Let me put the updated picture up there for you guys. Boom, there it is right there. There's the updated picture for Naked and Afraid, Last One Standing. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, there we go. Now we are good. All right, there. So there we go. Um, so he was at the tree and he had to decide whether to go left or right. Obviously, and if you remember the last episode, he said, you know what, but there's a third option, right? And now the third option, I got to be honest with you, I I I understand he was going through a hard time, right? He was going through a hard time, and he was, and it showed big time. It showed, him, Max losing his campmates showed big time, man. I mean, we saw the challenge that he did with the bow and arrow, and he didn't hit not one. Max is pretty good with that arrow, He's pretty good with his bow and arrow, and he didn't hit not one, not one. He didn't hit the target not one time. And so that again, that showed that was big, man. So again, and then of course after he came in last place on that challenge, and then after the challenge, right? he he went back to his camp, came in last place. He's already devastated for that, and then he went back to his camp, and then he stepped on some coal, some hot coal, and he burnt his foot. He had a second-degree burn on his foot, man. And then so yeah, it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good for Max, and so his heart wasn't in it. His heart wasn't in it, man. And so obviously Max, he's at the tree deciding whether to go left or right, and his third option is to go home, and he decides, yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up and go home. So Max is now eliminated from the challenge. Again, y'all, I got to be honest with you guys. I did not, I did, I did not see. I saw. I kind of we all saw it coming, but I did not think that he would actually quit. I didn't think so. I thought he was going to be like, you know what, I'm gonna tough it out and just pick a side. You know what I mean? But hey, it happens, man. And that's the thing. That's the thing. And Cheney even references this survival is 90% mental. You know what I'm saying? And of course, me playing sports back in the day, it's the same thing. When you play sports or survival or anything like that, man. This got to be strong. If this is weak, it don't matter how much muscle you got or endurance you got. You in shape. It don't matter. Nothing else matters if you're weak up here. So this got to be the strongest. This is the strongest thing on your body. If you're mentally strong, you can compete and you can outcome and outdo a lot of things that you wasn't expected to do, right? So, but if your heart's not in it, hey, you gotta if you gotta bounce, you gotta bounce. You know what I mean? So obviously that's what happened to Max. So Max is now gone. He's eliminated. He tapped out, man. He tapped out. Again, not gonna lie to you guys. Some of these people that's tapping out, I didn't expect him to tap out. You know what I mean? A lot of these survivalists are like all stars, and so I didn't expect a lot of tap outs like that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So Max is now tapped out. So now who we have left? We have Cheney, Patrick, Matt, and Darren. My At the beginning of the show, my top Matt was in my top three. I had Patrick in my top five. I didn't, but he made it to the final four. So he outdid his his ranking when it came down to my ranking. He outdid it. Cheney definitely outdid it. I had Cheney, I think, in maybe the top seven or maybe top eight, and she's in the final four. Shout out to Cheney. Darren, I think I had in my top five as well. I'm pretty sure I did. I think my top five that I had was Matt. I think I had Kai in there, and I think I had Laura, and then I think Patrick and Darren. I might have had Max. I don't remember. I got to go back and listen to my show. But I did have Patrick and Darren pretty high though, and of course Matt. I did have Matt pretty high as well. So now we're down to the final four, and we get to the episode of today. Not today, but Sunday. And so here we go, man. So obviously the beginning of the show, you have Darren going out there to go hunt. Yeah, it didn't work. Darren went out there to go hunt some pigs. Didn't work out for Darren. Hey, it is what it is. It's hard, man. Hunting is hard. Some people make it look easy, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Hunting is hard. You know what I mean? You got to go out there. You're tired. You're sweating. It's hot. It's 103-degree heat. You know what I mean? And then you haven't eaten a lot, right? So it's kind of difficult to go out, and hunting like that. So Darren went out there hunt, didn't work out. Patrick also, he went out there to try to go hunt some pig, bring back some bacon, right? Didn't work out, right? You also had Cheney. Cheney went out there to go fish, and Cheney actually got a lot of fish. She actually brought up, I think she had like at least like 5 or 6 fish. You know what I mean? And so. A good job on Cheney. She went fishing, man. She did. Patrick also went out to go fish, and he didn't get nothing. He didn't bring back nothing. And so anyway, so now Matt goes out there. And of course, Matt is the expert. He's the expert at the bow and arrow, right? He's the legend, right? You know what I mean? And so Matt goes out there. He's goes out there. He's camping with his bow and arrow. You know what I mean? And of course, what do you know? There's some pigs strolling by right in front of him. And of course, Matt, being as good as he is, he went out there and bam, got the pig, man, and he hit it direct. It wasn't the pig was so it. When I watched this, I was like, bro, there's no way he's gonna miss this pig, right? There's no way. The pig was so close. Matt normally hits things that are like like 40 yards away, right? You know what I mean? This pig was like 10 yards away. If that, I think it was like 8 yards away. It was that close. And I was like, oh, there's no way he's gonna miss this shot. You know what I mean? And of course, he shoots, bam, Matt hits the direct right in the body. The pig squeals, he runs away. And then Matt goes over there. He's like, yes. And then he shoots another shot just to make sure, the pig is not gonna, he's not still ramped up, right? You know what I mean? He shoots another shot just to make sure he got the kill. And of course, there it is right there. Matt Wright gets the kill, gets the pig in. I'm telling you, man, I look, Matt Wright gets a lot of hate from people. You know what I mean? But he keeps delivering. He keeps delivering, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I know the haters. The haters already hate Matt, right? But the fact that he just keeps delivering, right? That has to really, really drive them crazy. Because he's like I think Matt Wright this whole season, Matt is like the only one I think that is actually hit food, hit a pig, bring back some meat. I think he's like the only one. I don't remember anybody else doing that. I'm trying to recall, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm trying to remember if anybody else brought home some bacon, and I don't remember anybody else bringing home no bacon. I think Matt Wright. Matt Wright, I think he did it. He actually brought home bacon twice, but I think he hit three pigs. Cause remember the first pig he hit, right? It ran away and they lost it. It was him and Laura. Him and Laura, they lost it. So, that's just what it happens. But I think he brought home obviously this one, but I think he brought home another one. So he actually hit three pigs and brought home two, and I don't think anybody else has done that. So hey, man, people can keep hating on Matt Wright, but you know, he keeps making the haters more mad. I'm gonna let y'all know, man. I tell you, Matt Wright is something else, man. Go James. He say, hey, where do they sleep at? They sleep outside. So how it works is that they have different locations of camp, right? So they're in the middle of Australia, like in the outback of Australia, right? They're in like the it's trees everywhere, pretty much like I don't want to say like it's not a forest, it's more like a because there's a lot of desert land. You know what I mean? So it's just think about outback of Australia. You know what I mean? They got a little river that goes through there, so they can do some fishing. But of course, the fishing is not like you got a fishing line. Like, oh yeah, let me get yeah. It's not like that. You know what I mean? Like you have to actually make your fishing line, right? You have to actually make from actual sticks that you get from the ground and actually make it. You know what I mean? From any type of vine you can find, you know what I mean? Like you actually make the fishing line and then actually fish like that. So and then of course find your bait. They normally find some mussels, something like that. But yeah, but they sleep on the ground. You know what I mean? They sleep on the ground. Outside, like there's no shelter. Sometimes they do build shelter and other naked and afraid, but sometimes they don't. And this one they don't. They just sleep outside, man. You know what I mean? It's just Marine Corps style. You know what I'm saying? so anyway, so Matt, he's carrying his pig, man. You know what I'm saying? He's got this pig on his back. You know what I mean? He's bloody. The pig is all bloody. You know what I mean? And so he's carrying it, man, back to his camp. And funny thing, this is the funny part, right? So he carves it. He carves the pig, man. He slices it up, take all the fur off, take all the skin off the pig, man. You know what I mean? And then he takes the heart out of the pig, right? He got the heart in his hand, right? He puts it down on the thing. Now, for the people that don't really watch the show, right? This is what they always say, right? They always say the person who makes the kill on whatever animal it is, that's the person that has to eat the heart. Okay, that's just what it is. Now here's the thing. I think it's just on your first kill though. And Matt obviously killed a lot of animals before, but I think it's just for a person on your first kill. You got to eat the heart. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. If it was me, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know about that. but that's like a tradition. You know what I mean? So anyway, so Matt he skins it, man. You know what I mean? He takes all the skin off. He takes the heart off. He takes the liver out. You know what I mean? He puts the liver. A liver's supposed to be pretty good if you cook it, right? That's what they say. He takes the liver. He puts it on a log, right? A big tree log, right? He puts everything out on the log, right? And then he's pretty much take all the guts out. He's good, right? So then he ends up hanging it up on a tree, right? Then he goes to the other camp with Darren. Let me put it on your screen. Darren and Patrick. Okay, he goes to the other camp of Darren and Patrick, right? And remember, it's him and Cheney. It's Matt and Cheney, and then it's Darren and Patrick. There's only again final four. There's only final four left. Okay, so he goes to there and he says, "Hey guys," he plays a little joke on them, right? He said, "Hey guys, I think I need some help, with this tree. I think this tree has a lot of food. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna need some help getting it down, get some food if you guys are hungry. You know what I mean?" And so they go, "Yeah, all right, cool. We'll go help you out. Get some of them some pellets. You know what I mean? Some pellets of food, right?" Now, before Matt did this, he was actually thinking about not even sharing. He got this big old giant pig, and he was thinking of just eating it by himself, no sharing, right? And Patrick, not gonna lie to you, Patrick was feeling it, man. He was like feeling dazed. He was feeling hungry. He was like, man, I'm starving. I'm hungry. He was feeling out of it. You know what I mean? And so Matt Wright decides, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and share it. He was thinking about not sharing it and just eating it for himself, but then he was like, you know what, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and share it, man. So anyway, he goes to Darren and Patrick's camp, and he decides to tell them, hey, help me out with this tree, man. This tree got a lot of pellets of food on it. So they say, all right, cool. And then they walk back to his camp and they see this nice carved up, juicy pig just hanging there from the tree branch, and they just start screaming for joy, and they be like, "Oh my God, look at this guy, bro! This guy, the guy's the legend. He's the legend, man." So anyway, they all hug each other, man. They like, "Oh my God!" And then Chini comes in a little bit later. She got this about six fish, on a hook, and then she sees the pig. And she's like, "Oh my God, you got a pig!" And so anyway, they all end up eating the pig, man, and they all obviously they cooked it, right? They cooked it over the fire. They eat the pig, man, and so they're well fed now. Patrick was feeling it, man. Patrick was a little dazed out because he wasn't eating at all. He couldn't even catch fish. You know what I mean? And so this pig actually saved Patrick a little bit. You know what I mean? So hey, it is what it is. So then they end up eating the pig. Very, 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 very good. And so the next day, that night it actually looked like it was a little thunderstorming, but it didn't. It looked like it was raining a little bit, but it didn't. I thought it was going to be like a drenched storm, like a rain coming down big time, and that would have sucked because they don't have good shelter. So they had their slices of pig bacon over the fire, and if it would have rained, that would have ruined their whole freaking pig that they just got. You know what I mean? And so luckily it didn't pour down rain like that. It just sprinkled pretty much a little bit. But it was thunderstorming in the sky. It was there, lightning and thunder, but it didn't rain hard like that. So luckily they got lucky with that. So next day goes by, next day comes up, and they got a challenge to do. Now, this isn't an elimination challenge. It's just a challenge, right? To pretty much get some more assets, right? Um, and so what happens is that now let me tell you about this. So the challenge is this. This is how the challenge goes. The way it works is that you have to build like a tunnel in the dirt. Okay, you got to build a tunnel in the dirt that's kind of like an I want to say like an L shape, kind of like a picture like an L shape. Okay, it's like an L shape, right? And it curves a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And at the top, you have to boil a pot of water, right? And then at the other end, okay, you have to actually start a fire, right? So you have to start your fire, right? and the fire uh, uh, and the fire has to pretty much go and hit the pot of water, and it has to start boiling, right? That's pretty much, it's like a funnel. Pretty Picture a funnel of, and the reason why they do that is because they say that it's supposed to make your water boil faster that way, right? Instead of just having just a fire and just putting a pot over it, right? A pot of water. You got all the wind blowing, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? The wind is blowing this way, it's blowing that, any type of direction, and so your water tends to boil slower, right? But if you build that funnel, right? If you build that funnel, and then you put your pot of water on top, now it steams up and boils faster. You know what I mean? So it's just a little trick. You know what I mean? It's a little trick to help your water boil faster. That's all it is. So anyway, they all had to do it. Obviously, it's not an elimination challenge, so which means it's more of an asset challenge, right? And so here we go. They start doing it, boom, you know what I'm saying? And now before we started, Cheney was the one that was like, I don't know what this is. Cheney was the one that was kind of like, I'm kind of stuck. Like she's never done it before. So Cheney was like, let me put this back on your screen. Cheney was the one that was pretty much saying, yeah, I've never done this before. So she was brand new to this. Matt has done this before. Patrick and Darren. Darren again. Darren is like the professor, man. He's a professor. He know every single trap, every single whatever it is. He knows about it. You know what I mean? Like he knows how to do every trick in the book. You know what I mean? Again, Darren is like the professor. He knows everything, but again, he's just slow at it. You know, and that's his only fault. When it comes down to a lot of challenges, is that he's really slow. That's why with Darren will be good on just regular naked and afraid and Naked and Afraid XL. Darren will be really, really good because there's no time limit. You don't have to rush and do things. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing's a challenge. You just have to survive for either 21 days or 40 days. And wherever they're at. And so Darren will be really good at those. But in the challenges, they put you with time limits, right? And so with Darren, he knows everything, but he has to rush and do it, and that's where he kind of falls behind. But not gonna lie to you, again, Darren's real good, man. This is why he's in the final four, right? So they all started right now. Patrick and Darren end up moving ahead. They pretty much got their fire going. They got their funnel already carved in, man. They're freaking good to go, man. And then all they got to do is just put their pot of water on top, man, and started boiling. Cheney was the one that was a little bit behind. Matt Wright was actually last. Now see, here's the problem. Matt Wright decided, you know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and try to you know try to go over here to the side a little bit, and the reason why he did that was because he kind of felt some sprinkles, and so he thought it was maybe going to rain a little bit, right? So he didn't want his fire to go out. So he was like, I'm gonna go to the side and get some shelter from my fire, and then I'll bring it back over there and to my funnel, and then there you go. Well, the problem with that is that it didn't rain, and so that took a lot of time off of him, and that's why by the time Matt pretty much got his fire going, um, and he came back to his spot where his funnel is, it kind of it was too late. You know what I mean? That Cheney was already almost done. Patrick and Darren was almost done, and so Matt was just running behind. You know, and so here's the thing: Cheney didn't. Again, like I told you guys, Cheney didn't even know how to do this, and yet she just figured it out. And what do you know? Cheney ended up coming in first place. I was like, oh snap, look at Cheney. Cheney was stoked. She was so excited, man. Again, her being the only female that's left in this competition, she was stoked. Okay, she was super excited, man. So, hey, man, shout out to Cheney, man. You know what I mean? She came in first place, man. She actually got her pot of water boiling first, and she ended up winning. So, shout out to Cheney. Darren came in second place. Darren came in second place. Again, kind of shocked, just because Darren is normally slow at his craft, but again, he knows all his crafting, man. But he came in second place, man. So shout out to Darren. So now it's a battle between Matt and Patrick. And again, here's the thing: because of Matt feeding and sharing his pig the night before, that may have been a bad strategy to do. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because Darren and Patrick, now not Cheney was pretty good. She seemed like she was pretty strong, right? But Darren and Patrick just seemed like they were kind of out of it. They were hungry, and they was out of it, man. And that pig, that meat from that pig, that bacon, pretty much brought them back to life. So Matt sharing his pig, man. Again, this is competition, man. You don't have to share if you don't want to. Like again, here's the thing: the show says that you cannot share items, but it didn't say anything about sharing food, right? Um, so yeah, Matt's strategy. You know, hey, you shared your pig, man. Yeah, not good. You kind of. I don't think you should have shared it, man. You should you should have kept it to yourself or just share. I think in my opinion, I think he should have just shared it with Cheney. I think if he just shared it with Cheney, then that's cool. But I don't think he should have shared it with Patrick and Darren, man. So anyway, he didn't do so, and now here it is the next day that with the challenge, and sure enough, Patrick came in came in third place. Hey, it is what it is, man. Patrick came in third place. Matt Wright came in last place, man. And you know what's funny? I gotta I gotta say this, man. You know what's funny? Patrick, right? Patrick's all like, he comes in third place, right? And he's all like, yeah, see, I'm the legend slayer, right? And I was just yeah, and then hold on, going back, right? This was funny. Going back, right, when Max tapped out and he quit, right? Patrick was like, hey, this is why I'm the legend slayer, right? And then Darren looked at him was like, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And then so now when Patrick beats Matt in the competition, he goes, yeah, see, this is why I'm the legend slayer, Brady. You know what I'm saying? He's all hyped up and things like that, right? And I'm watching the show and I'm like, you beat Matt one time, and now all of a sudden you're the legend slayer, right? I'm like, hold on, bro. Matt Wright has been beating you the whole season. We on episode 8. Matt Wright has been beating you on since episode 1. He's been beating you. You have yet to beat him. And now here it is, you beat him one time, and now all of a sudden, see, this is why I'm the legend slayer. I'm like, oh my God, this guy. You have been coming behind Matt Wright, bro, the whole freaking show, the whole show, the whole season, man. Matt Wright's been beating you, bro. Matt Wright, bro, hold on. You have you killed anything yet? You've been going out hunting almost every day. You haven't killed anything. You've been getting fed by Matt Wright, but yet somehow you're the legend slayer. Hey man, Patrick's funny, man. He's funny. Anyway, so so moving on, right? Moving on. So now you got the fourth place. Obviously, don't get no asset. You go 1, 2, and 3. They get assets. First place, second place, third place. They get assets, right? So you got a knife there. You got a shovel, and you got a rope. Well, obviously, the competitors know. Yeah, friction fire is coming up. Friction fire was in the first season. It was in the second season, and now here it is in the third season. They know it's coming. It is the friction fire challenge takes out almost everybody. I remember when I first watched Friction Fire in season 1, and it was Jeff, and it was what's that Gary? Remember Gary, right? Gary was in there, and it was a lot of other people up in there, right? And they gave the the show gave them like 48 hours to do this challenge because that's how long it takes. Sometimes it takes that long to do friction fire. And still, some competitors still didn't finish. That's how tough friction fire. Friction fire takes out a lot of competitors, man. And so now they know it's coming, right? So Cheney obviously know it's coming. So Cheney was like, you know what? I know that challenge is coming, so I'm gonna pick the rope. Now, again, with the rope, it's good because that gives you in order to make the bow drill, right? The bow drill, you got to make up like a bow, and you put the rope around and you swing it, and then it spins the thing, and it's way easier than doing a hand drill. A hand drill, you got to do like this with the stick to make the fire. You know what I mean? It weighs a lot on your hands. It's more energy. You know what I mean? And so that's why a lot of people don't like doing the hand drill. They rather do the bow, right? And again, when you're doing the hand drill, you got to do like this. You have to stop, bring your hands back up, but with the bow drill, you don't have to stop. You can just keep going, keep going, keep going. And so that's why a lot of people like the bow drill, right? And so she decides I'm gonna get the rope because the rope, when you use regular vines in a bow drill to make friction fire, the rope tends to break a lot. But if you got an actual good rope, I'm sorry, the vine. So, but if you have a really good rope, it's not gonna break, right? So that's why she picked the rope. Uh, Darren came in second place. He chose the shovel. Smart on Darren because remember in the last season, remember, and they showed it in the last season, the shovel was valuable for Fernando. Remember Fernando, he ended up getting a shovel, and it was very very valuable in whatever challenge it was. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Uh, Friction fire is next. But they have one more. Normally, they have one more challenge after the friction fire. Normally, right? And remember, in this episode, they had said this friction fire is going to be an elimination challenge. There's only three can move on to the last challenge. There's only three. So there's four left. This is the final four. So it has to be elimination. Somebody's going home. Somebody's going home. So Darren chooses the shovel. Smart on him because the last challenge, you don't know what it is. That shovel may come in handy. Darren may be the winner just because he picked that shovel. And so, I know what Cheney was thinking when it came down to friction fire, but she may not even use it. And I'm again, if you haven't watched the show, I'm about to tell you why. So, uh, uh, Patrick ended up picking the knife, right? Matt Wright doesn't get anything. So, moving on. They know that friction fire is coming up. Okay. So what they do is they start gathering, materials. They start gathering a lot of materials to make their bow drill for the friction fire. And so Patrick was smart. Patrick knew this was coming up because he was in the last season, right? So throughout this whole season, he was gathering materials for the friction fire, and he was hiding. I didn't even know he had them. He didn't even say anything until now. So he's gathering all this. He gathered all the materials, right? He made his bow drill because friction fire is coming up. He made his bow drill, man. Darren makes his bow drill. Matt Wright makes his bow drill. You know what I mean? And Cheney starts to make her bow drill because she has the rope. The rope is a good asset for it. She starts to make her bow drill, and then she realized, you know what? Let me try the hand drill first. So she tried the hand drill, and then she did it, and she got an amber in like a couple minutes. And the reason why is because this environment that they're in Australia has like this certain tree where it's called like a peak tree, right? And when you have that peak tree, for some reason it ignites really, really fast like that. Go figure, right? So she picked the rope and she didn't even need it. She decided, you know what? I don't even need this acid. I'm gonna do my hand drill. I don't need to do the bow drill, right? So she decided, okay, cool. So she goes back to camp. Matt Wright's over there struggling with his bow drill, and he's like, "Man, this ain't working." And Cheney went over to camp, and she was like, "Not gonna lie to you, I'm going hand drill." And Matt Wright is like, "Yeah, you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I'm gonna go hand drill as well because this bow thing ain't working." And Cheney said, "Yeah, I think you should do the hand drill, right?" So Matt Wright decides, "Okay, fine, I'm gonna do the hand drill." So they do the hand drill. He starts his hand drill. All of a sudden, in like 5 minutes, he gets an amber. And he was like, holy crap, did that just happen? Now, here's the thing. If you don't watch the show, let me tell you, in season one and in season two, nobody uses the hand drill because it takes so much energy out of you, and it doesn't really work. Everybody that has done friction fire has won with the bow drill. But for some reason, in this environment with that peak tree, hand drill works the best. It is what it is. I don't know. Hey, it is what it is. So now Cheney and Matt Wright figured out that hand drill is the best way to go. Okay, hand drill is the best way to go. And so, hey, it is what it is. And so now you got Darren and Patrick over there. They're still trying to struggle with their bow and arrow, right? They struggling with they like, man, this ain't working, man. Blah blah. And so finally, the next day, right? The next day come around, and of course they get their scrolls, right? They get their scrolls, and the scrolls tell them, "Hey, time to go over there, man. You got to figure out what the challenge is." Blah blah blah. They go over there. Obviously, it's friction fire, right? Friction fire. So they say, yeah, we knew this was coming. It's coming, right? But they good because they got their assets. They got all the materials that they need, right, in order to build, or in order to make fire, right? They good, right? This time though, the challenge says that you have to surrender all assets and all materials that you gathered. That's tough. They did not expect that. So now all the stuff that they gathered, they have to get rid of it. So when the challenge starts, You have to start from scratch. You everything again. Normally it wasn't like that in season one and season two. Normally they knew the challenge was coming up, and so they used to make their bow drill. They got their vine, they tied their vine to their little stick, right? You know what I'm saying, to make their bow drill, and that way when the challenge comes, they're ready. You know what I mean? Yeah, not this time. Not this time. You got to start from scratch. So now the Darren and Patrick that want to do bow drill, they have to go find their materials all over again and make their bow drill, and then find the right type of stick to put underneath it to put that stick on there in order for it to, catch on fire. Matt and Cheney have to gather all their materials again all over again. The difference though is that they figured out hand drill works the best. So they're doing hand drill. Now here's the thing. This is what I think. I think, in my opinion, I think what's going to happen is that Patrick or Derek, either both of them or one of them, is going to say, you know what? I'm going to try hand drill because making a bow to do the bow drill may take too much time. So I'm going to try the hand drill first. And then if it doesn't work, then I'll do the bow. I think that's what they're going to do. Now, I don't know for sure, but, and it may behoove them to do so because they're going to lose if they don't, right? If they don't, here's what I think is going to happen. If they don't, I think Matt and Cheney are going to do their hand drill. And once they finish, both of them, Patrick and Darren are going to look and be like, holy crap, they're done already? And then they're going to figure out, okay, bow drill is not working. They use hand drill. I'm going to go hand drill. And I think they're both going to do hand drills. And then now it just comes out to who's going to be in the final three, right? So, yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see who's gonna win. Because again, Final Four, man, Final Four. We're gonna see who's gonna win. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Heaney and Matt, maybe if Darren and Patrick don't start with the hand drill, Cheney and Matt are gonna move on to the final three. They're gonna move on, and so this is why I think we'll see. But yeah, you may see either Darren or Patrick going home. Now, if I had a choice, I think the final three will be Matt, Cheney, and Patrick. I think Darren will be going home. That's what I think. We'll see. I don't know for sure, but we'll see. But yeah, I think Darren's one that's going to be eliminated tomorrow or Sunday. So we will see, man. We'll see. I want to say one more thing too, because I know a lot of people were talking about how it was messed up that Cheney. By the way, in the challenge that they did before, Cheney, Patrick, and Darren not only got assets, but they also got like some little lobsters, right? And little crab or I know it was like lobsters. They weren't crabs; they were lobsters, right? And they had to they cooked them and they ate them, and it was delicious, right? And but here's the thing, Cheney did not share with Matt any of her lobsters, and she got a lot. I think she got like eight. She had like eight lobsters, okay, because she came in first place. Second place, I think, ended up getting like four lobsters or something like that, and then third place ended up getting two lobsters, right? And again, they're mini, they're like baby lobsters. They're not really big. They're just baby lobsters, right? But a lot of people were talking about how, oh, it's messed up. Matt Wright killed a pig, brought home the bacon, and he shared with you. And here it is, Cheney. You got freaking lobsters, eight of them, and you didn't share with Matt at all. That's messed up. I mean, I hear you, but you can't just get on Cheney. Patrick and Darren also ate that pig, and they didn't share with Matt either. So Matt Wright over here sharing his pig with everybody, and nobody shared with Matt when it came down to those lobsters, man. And so, hey, look at here, man. But you know what? Again, here's the thing. Can you be mad at him? No, because They won those mini lobsters. They won it fair and square. Okay, they don't have to share with nobody. All right, but they did. But Matt Wright and same with Matt Wright. Matt Wright, he killed that pig and he didn't have to share with anybody, but he just did. And so it is what it is. I can't get mad at I can't get mad at Cheney or Patrick or Darren, right, for not sharing with Matt. I can't get mad at that, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? They won it fair and square, and they just decided not to share. And I gotta be honest, if it were me, I would have shared. If it were me, I think for me, I would have remembered that, hey, this guy over here, Matt, man, he helped bring home some bacon, and he shared his pig with me, and he didn't have to, right? So for me, with the lobsters, I definitely would have repaid the favor. You know what I mean? But I can't get mad at them for not doing so. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's just the way it is, man. So anyway, that's what happened, man. So we're gonna see with this next episode when it comes down to friction fire. Again, we'll see who gets eliminated. Again, my pick is Darren, but we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, y'all let me know who you guys think who's gonna get eliminated in this next challenge between Matt Wright, Cheney, Patrick, and Darren. Y'all let me know, man. But that's it for me. I appreciate everybody joining us on Rated R for Reviews. I am going live again later on today, tonight in about like what 4 hours. Yep, about 3 hours actually. In 3 more hours, I'm going live again. We got to talk about the Squid Games, man. Squid Games just came out, man. About I think it was like this past Friday, and so we are talking about the Squid Games. I love that show. So appreciate everybody joining us. Hit the like button, man. Subscribe, of course, if you're new, and we are out of here. Appreciate y'all.